Here are the top 10 videos from 2023. Let's jump into it. Number 10. So today I will be driving a small district vehicle. We got to the conference in time. I love that they provide breakfast for the teen parents, and then some really great donations are going to be raffled off. That's going to happen during lunch. Let's go into the first session. With the last field trip that I will be hosting as a teen parenting social worker, I want to take some time to reflect on this population. My mom had me over spring break of her senior year, and I know she was nervous and she was scared. I don't know how she found the strength to get through it, to get through high school, and then to become such a great mom. Number 9. So we are headed to work today. This is a plan with me. I'm actually going to head into the office right now, and we're going to plan for the month of April. It is going to be super busy. So if you need a little bit of motivation, kind of pushing through all the way to the end of the year, this video is for you. I'm going to show you how I get it all done, including planning my sessions, mobile food banks. There's just so much to get done. Let's jump into this. Switching over to April, you may see there's already some action happening here on Mondays and Fridays. I shared this in a previous video. I am now at the high school campus in my district on these days. So they're already marked off, and working on a campus is very different from being a district social worker. I'm going to share how I'm balancing both a full-time caseload of school-age parents plus a clinical caseload plus a high school campus. Enter my little tool that I created years and years ago, and I'm so happy I did so because it is helping me stay organized. I've uploaded this on Teachers Pay Teachers. I have a small account over there that is growing, so go follow over there for any new tools. So this is a spreadsheet. It's digital, which I love because I can take it anywhere. It allows me to input session summaries, meeting dates, new referrals, and I'm going to give you a peep into this so you can see exactly how I utilize it, because it is going to help me stay organized. You can see that I'll have a running list of my clients that I meet with clinically. That's about 12 students that I have on my caseload. No worries, this is simply an example. So, number 8. Today I want to give you a sneak peek into my little hack, a little feature in this particular book to make documentation easier and also treatment planning easier. You may not know of this book in general. There are so many different types of treatment planners out there. Today, I am showing you how I use them. So stay tuned to the very end of this video to gather all of that insight and tips. So here are the very used practice planners that I have had over the course of my career. Today, I want to share a little bit from the school counselor and school social work treatment planners. It's super important that you really dig into the generalized worries and brainstorm with the student an extensive list of personal worries. These are interventions that you can use to start identifying what a student's worries are. I will be linking my Amazon store in the description box below. You can check out a 20-item list that I've created, and I'm adding items all the time that I find work. This particular list is under the title Improving Student Attendance, and it has all the things you may need: books, interventions, rewards, incentives, things to help students come to school. Number 7. I want to talk to you about this school year because it has been one of my toughest, and walk you through exactly what I did to keep myself motivated. It was a lot, and I did that 2 days out of the week, and the other days is when I managed my caseload and I provided clinical services. So I had a full plate. Lots and lots happening. You know about self-care. It's not a secret. It's very trendy. We see people do it all the time, but that doesn't mean that it's easy to do it for ourselves, especially when our self-talk becomes negative. And by an example of that, I'll just use myself. I really believed this year that because people were leaving the district, that I had to step up. I had to be strong. And that didn't allow me to take space to breathe, to drink water, to take a lunch break. When you have that type of self-talk that's like, be strong, you got this, you can do this, right? That grind culture, that mentality of like hustle, it gets things done, but it also has a negative impact and consequence on your self-care and what you're doing to take care of yourself. This was kind of my self-care routine. This is the things that I did. I have a wonderful space, Social Work Scrapbook, on Instagram, and that's where I love to connect with other school social workers. One example of that is a back to school social work kickoff that I like to do. This is virtual and it's free. I will post the details up on the screen if you're wanting to join. And there's some videos that you can watch as well of the conference. Welcome to our back to school social work event. So the goal of our gathering today, again, is to share insights. I have a wonderful panel. What if a student doesn't even want the counseling? Like they don't want to talk to you at all, which I know it doesn't happen to the best of us. No, I'm just kidding. It happens quite often. You see that refusal. So our next panelist, and we have 2 more to go, will be Ariana.
I do get a lot of referrals of kids who don't want counseling. They're like, why am I here? Why do I need to talk to you? I don't need it. You're wasting my time. Can I go back to class? So those are the typical comments that I get. So I really had to okay, be patient, take a deep breath. When you're working with the kid from the very beginning, empathize with the student, because the choice they didn't give, they weren't given the opportunity to choose. The choice was made for them. Allow them for the opportunity to express, well, if you had the choice, what would you have chosen, right? Give them the opportunity to be heard, to be seen, and kind of just explore that. Another tip would be remember to check yourself. So before calling in the student, you got to check yourself. You got to make sure you're in a good headspace and be ready, because it's not about you in that moment. It's about the student. So like Bianca mentioned, they know, they can tell, right? Whether if you're being real, whether if you're being fake, or whether oh no, this person is not.
So I want to talk a little bit about how to get on track to a clinical license. The journey is going to be rather lengthy. These are the requirements right here, and you don't do this without having a really solid why. As a board certified supervisor in Texas, I have helped some of my supervisees also find extensions of their roles, making sure you have a job that is gonna fit the big three, the assessment, diagnosis, and treatment planning, into that job role. I shared a little bit earlier on how school social work can possibly work with you, and I'm gonna share more on how and why. But basics are assessment, diagnosis, and then treatment planning. Essentially, we're gonna put this all together and do this in front of a client over and over and over again. Number 4. I get to do a few things today. These are all things that you wanted to see. So we're going to walk you through, and I'm going to get them all done because it's a teacher workday. We got a line of cars going through. I am tracking right now on an iPad. I've gotten the email from my supervisor. It's really cool. He kind of shoots this out to the whole social work team, letting us know how many families we served. 356 families. If you're watching this and you're new to Social Work Scrapbook, I want to take some time to remind you that this is my highlight reel. Another question I got was how to plan when nothing goes to plan. As school social workers, we never know how a day is likely to go. We can plan and plan for it, but sometimes, a student might be absent, things get in the way, and I always have plans B, C, and D lined up just in case. For example, if a student is absent or for some reason doesn't make it into the session for that day, my plan B may be to start looking up and planning what my future sessions would be, what my follow-up session is going to look like, or if there is some background correspondence I can do to assist this student. This might be talking to teachers, talking to counselors, or other school staff, collateral people, to get some information and make sure that I do document some sort of behind the scenes admin work to serve this student. But as far as preparing for my individual sessions, I like to have different activities on hand just to bring up on the fly. So if my student is going through a lot of anxiety, which I am seeing a lot this year in particular, actually in the past few years, I use this calming jar. This works for all ages. When it's a really tough week, we shake this jar up and I'll let the student just shake it as hard as they possibly can, and then we'll watch it as the glitter slowly starts to settle, and we start seeing that as we breathe, everything can calm down. The glitter, as you can see, is not gone entirely. It's still there, but it's calmed down and it's now at the bottom of the jar where we can see through the other side. You can use different language to ensure that students are understanding this core concept. Coming in at number 3, we are going to get some major documentation done today. I'm going to provide some tips and resources. So let's get our documentation done together and done quickly. Each district is going to do their documentation very differently. Some may be more structured, others may not have a structure at all. So that might be why you're tuning in. My district is a Google district, so most things are going to be on the Google Drive. This is the spreadsheet that corresponds to this school year. I'm looking currently at the month of February, and I'm adding in how many new referrals I've gotten this month. So I've gotten a few from teachers as well as counselors and other social workers, not very many from the nurse. Administrators have also sent me emails and reached out to me. After I add in the source of my referrals, I'm also going to add in the reasons. These are the reasons we typically look at: attendance, behavior, mental health, medical, any other resources, educational programming, legal, special ed, or social relationship issues. And of course, there's an other as well. Number 2. And this is Social Work Scrapbook. In this video, I am sharing how to gain and grow respect as the school social worker on your campus. We work with so many school staff, so it's really easy to kind of get lost in the shuffle. Lots of people don't even know what we do. Now it's going to stop today. Watch to the very end of this video because I am sharing all of my tips on how to gain respect, how to go from being invisible to being consulted with. I used to work with a school psychologist once that thought all I did was investigate homes. Okay, I think that's a very basic view of what social workers do, so I don't blame this LSSP for thinking that. The role that we play, sometimes there's other staff on the campus that play similar roles, whether it's distributing supplies to students, doing home visits, right? I'm thinking of different roles right now that we are sometimes confused for. But it's crucial and important to have a little script to help you out so that you are not only able to explain what you do with ease and with comfort, but you're also using this spiel, this time, to gain the right kinds of referrals. Because as I started off saying, people get confused. My script, this little fill in the blank, has always really helped me to be able to ground into the work that I do with students and explain it quickly so that people, not only staff, but also students and families, know when to give me a call, when to refer someone over to me. And now, I get referrals, the right types of referrals left and right from administrators, counselors, nurses, just because I've gotten really good at using this little template, this little script to explain what I do. And number 1. Hey there! Today I'm talking about my favorite population, which is high school students. You're getting those blank stares if they're not opening up to you. Let's talk about the types of students that you may come across. So there's the student that will not open up. All right, this is the student that you call, doesn't want to be there, tight-lipped, yes, no answers. What else? No eye contact, possibly. Take a deep breath. This is not about you, and this is everything about the school system, okay? Most students, especially at this age, are being talked to. They're talked at. They are not listened to. So they are coming into your office, into your space, expecting the same setup, the same environment. So they're gonna sit there and listen, right? As social workers or school counselors, we're not used to that. We want them to talk to us, but we don't know why they're just sitting there blankly. My third type of students that you come across is the student that will flat out tell you, I do not want to talk to you. I don't want to be here. Or even worse, to me, even worse, they don't say a word. None. These students have a lot of trust issues, and oftentimes they are the ones that are most in need of your services. They are the most in need of some safe place to be, of someone to kind of hold space for them. So I always keep this in mind, rather than jumping to the conclusion that they are resistant, that they are, that I'm uncomfortable basically, and I don't want to be there and they don't want to be there, and it's really not about me, right? I know this student needs me, so I know that I have to continue to be consistent, show up, do what I need to do to create a space that feels comfortable for them. So a lot of times with this type of student, they have never met someone like a school social worker or school counselor that truly wants to engage them, truly wants to listen in. I have seen some TikToks that kind of make me sad a little bit. One was if you really told the truth to the school counselor, right? And students can tell when they are overwhelming you. Especially at the high school age, they can tell when you are unable to handle what they are sharing. Some things that I hear, I do want to react, I do want to rescue, I do want to save, but because that's a natural human reaction, I want to make promises, but we need to lean away from that as much as possible. We're not here to save students. We're not here to make any promises. In fact, if you're making promises in your sessions with students, we need to stop that right away, because promises, keeping secrets, things like that, it might help to get some students to open up and share, but you and I both know there are exceptions to confidentiality and to keeping secrets, and they have to do with safety, and your high schoolers especially are going to be teetering on that confidentiality line. Don't promise anything that you are not going to be able to deliver on. Fair warning. All right, let's jump into some activities and games. Sometimes I might do some drawing if I feel like in assessing and getting to know them that part of their strengths, their interest is artistic drawing. I might bring some beads, pastel, right, colors. I might bring a deck of cards if it's more so like they're more tangible, need to feel something. And of course, I'm assessing along the way, pointing out strengths, looking for limitations, looking for gaps, right? What I might need to assist with and place into their treatment plan. I think one of my most favorite techniques to use, and something I'm using just without even recognizing or realizing, is motivational interviewing with adolescents. It is super important to listen, but also ask a lot of leading questions. And I preface by telling students, especially students that don't know me at all, that I ask a lot of weird questions, because a lot of the questions I ask they've never heard of, and they don't really know how to answer. So I want them to know to take their time in answering, that there is no right or wrong answer to the questions that I ask. And if I ask a question that ever feels evasive or like too much, like they don't want to answer it or they don't feel comfortable answering it, then they don't have to answer it. I know we leaned in hard into clinical social work, right? All the therapy. So if that is kind of getting you excited, or that's where you're wanting to transition into, maybe you're a school social worker that loves this part of the job, then my next video is going to be for you. I love doing clinical work. I love that social work, school social work, allows you to do clinical work and social worky stuff all together in one. I'm going to share a video for those that are still tuned in, those that are still kind of in that mode of taking notes. This video over here is gonna share my top tips to engaging resistant clients. I think I even have a role play in this video, so check it out next. And until next time, I am wishing you social work success. Bye guys.